brought to you by KHS Bicycles, a full line of bicycles sold in 30 countries. Jensen USA, America's #1 online retailer of bikes and accessories, ODI, the world leader in grip technology, and Angel Fire Bike Park, the top-rated bike park in the Southwest. Welcome to Mountain Bike Mania. I'm Samantha McDonald. We're kicking off the first race in the USA Cycling's Pro GRT series. We'll take you across the country over the next couple months as the junior experts, pro men and pro women, compete for the right to call themselves champion. The competition begins right here in Port Angeles, Washington. The overall Pro GRT champs, Jill Kintner and Charlie Harrison, are both here today. Last year, Charlie Harrison and Bruce Klein were locked in a tight battle. This year, they're both racing in the Pro Men category. Also here today are Logan Bingley and Kieran McKinnon, both runner-ups for the Pro GRT last year. As we know, anything can and will happen. Here are Ross and Mikey for the race conditions.
Thanks, Samantha. It's been dry all morning. It was raining yesterday during qualifying, so we saw some exciting action. Nick Nesterov taking the top spot in the junior experts.
Yeah, Nick kind of the junior to beat this year, doing some big things in the World Cup level, but a couple other guys, Simon Tellier right behind him in the #2 spot. Steve Walton was up in the top 5.
Well, let's take a look at the pro men. We had Forrest Riesco, a name we haven't seen, but who's after that?
Right behind him, a couple first-year pros, Bruce Klein taking home the #2 spot on the InCycle program, and Charlie Harrison.
Yeah, Charlie's been looking pretty great all off-season, racing in bootleg in Fontana. For the pro women, who have we got? Jill Kintner?
Jill Kintner, definitely the force to be reckoned with up in the Northwest Cup. Jamie Reese behind her, and Samantha Kingsill slotting herself in the #3 spot. So she's
good to see
doing
her.
big things this year.
Well, let's move on to our course preview, something Mikey recorded earlier today. Takes us through Chunderdome and Upper Pro.
Nice high line there from Mitch. Into the seats. Dusty as all, which we're not used to seeing here. You know, and here we come down into the Chunderdome section. Mitch yapping it look easy.
Last year, some of the top riders crashed out of the race here in Port Angeles. Let's see how they do navigating the course this year. Can Nick Nesterov post the fastest run 2 days in a row? Ross and Mikey have the call.
All right, here's our ODI start list for the junior experts. Who do we have on top, Mikey?
No surprise with Nick Nesterov in the #1 spot. Simon Tellier out of BC. Andras Simon out of SoCal in 3rd.
But the first one we're going to see is Jeremy Schwartz. He's from around your neighborhood, is he not?
Yeah, out of the South Bay area, riding for Trailhead Racing out of San Jose, California.
He's
so
cranking out of those corners.
Yeah, definitely not used to some of the wet conditions we saw after qualifying yesterday, but seems to be adapting pretty well down in through the steeps here on King Diamond.
Wow, that's a quick section.
A lot of real steep, tight exiting turns here. Not a lot of this type of riding down in the Bay Area, but he seems to be making short work of it.
Yeah, you can see him getting pretty loose through some of the little corners and hucks, but 28 miles an hour through the DT Swiss speed trap.
Yeah, that's probably one of the flatter sections of the course, but also the only section that is smooth and straight. Yeah, so and he's up by about half a second at split #1.
On Quentin Kurtz. It's looking good for Jeremy over here right now.
Yep, in through the section. I like to call it the Supercross section. That was a natural cut
Doubles.
about 3 years ago, and it's just kind of eroded away into natural doubles.
Down in Chunderdome. Oh, he sends it. Looking good for the fans.
Definitely in through this last creek gap into probably the roughest corner on the track.
There's so many bumps.
That last left-hander, a little bit out of frame, has just deteriorated all weekend, and it's only going to get worse for our pro men.
It's gone, but here he is through the line, 245. What?
7/100ths of a second.
That's
that is
close.
tight racing.
Man, that's barely measurable.
It is. Next up, another kid out of Northern California, or sorry, Southern California, actually.
That's right. Sean Bell. He's been racing for the Santa Cruz program. He's about 6'3", 6'4", as are all their riders, aren't they, Mikey?
Yeah, it seems like Santa Cruz is the only company making extra large downhill bikes, so all the guys they support seem to be on the taller side. But
yep. Sean looking really smooth through these sections.
Again, one of the advantages of being tall, you get to carry a little extra momentum using your legs for extra suspension. Just like that there, casing up on that step up just a little from Sean.
Where does it hurt him, in the corners and tight sections?
It could be the acceleration factor. He is a lot more guy to get moving. 29 miles an hour through the speed trap.
Going a little faster than Jeremy.
He got that extra weight moving a little bit quicker.
He doesn't look very dramatic in his movements, you might say.
No, and again, that's kind of a Santa Cruz team rider. Some might say Steve P. or Greg Menard never look like they're putting in a whole lot of extra effort on the bike. And both of those guys are well over the 6'2" mark.
And still won many World Cups between the two of them.
Yeah, I think they're the two winningest in history, actually.
Here we go, Sean Bell through the waterfall.
Sending the Chunderdome gap into that last left. A little bit of
it looked like he brake checked
speed, yeah.
Right before that, but this corner right here, it's completely gone. So you never know with these Port Angeles conditions throughout the weekend.
And we've already seen super tight racing, and it's only 0.01, so 1/100
is that a little bit?
Of a second.
What? How are race times so close?
It's very, very tight racing here on this awesome Port Angeles track.
All right, well, another one of your neighbors from NorCal.
Yeah, this one's out of Santa Cruz, California, if I'm not mistaken. Out in Freedom, Devin Cares.
Hard to pronounce that last name, but he sure knows how to ride a bike. Choosing not to jump that little double, keep the bike on the ground for some speed.
Yeah, that little step up, kind of deceiving. You come into it with a lot of speed. And
cornering,
and it seems like you could pretty easily bunny hop up it, but if you come up a little short, you actually lose way more speed than you would gain. So Devin choosing to take the smooth route and pump through it, more like a downhill bike pump track than
just keeping it rolling quick.
Yep.
We saw Logan Bingley crash there in qualifying, just barely make it into the finals. Fastest speed trap.
30 miles an hour for Devin. Manualing the little triple there.
I guess he didn't want to fully commit into the air, but sometimes throwing whips too, race run.
2 seconds back though, over 2 seconds.
We got Jason Eiswald on the fastest split, so we're actually haven't seen his race footage, but he clearly crashed or something after that.
In through inside to inside there, leading up to the Chunderdome, trying to stay out of as many holes as he can. Big bunny hop all the way into the Chunderdome.
Yanking on it. This is an interesting little setup line. You think it's faster?
It may be. Sometimes staying out of the holes keeps your momentum up, even if it is a little bit longer. But there he is sprinting across the line, almost missing the finish line there. Into third, 7/100ths of a second.
That's nothing.
These times, all top three, less than 1/10 of a second.
Let's take a look at our Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Angel Fire Bike Park, biggest bike park in the Rocky Mountains.
So last year you ended with a bang. You won at the Mammoth Pro GRTs. What are your goals for this season? You're coming off a high note.
I'd like to stay consistent, do a lot of the GRTs and take the overall in that. I'd like to be national champion and I'd like to make a name for myself at the World Cups.
You're only 16. Your times are competitive with pros. You ever ride with the pros, outside of the races?
Yeah, actually, my friend Bruce Klein, we ride a lot. Having pros on the team too, that really makes it nice. You can ride with fast people, push yourself.
Yeah, and you guys are all in the SoCal area.
Yeah, that's
so
nice.
What's the riding like there for you guys?
Anytime that you don't see us on the race course, we're probably riding together and having a blast, so
awesome.
It's good.
So yeah, you have a very supportive family. We see your dad at lots of the races.
Yeah.
What's that like for you as a rider?
It's super awesome having a family that backs you, like with whatever you're gonna do, because it makes it easy for you to progress in the sport, knowing that you have your family behind you.
Yeah.
And the athlete we just saw in our Athlete of the Week profile, Steve Walton, your number 4 qualifier on the intense Palmer project for his 2nd year in a row.
Coming off a hot season win at the Mammoth GRT last year. Same bike, so he's definitely very comfortable.
Similar bike, actually. He's actually upgraded to the full carbon version of that M16 this year.
He's on an aluminum one.
And it definitely seems to be working well for him right now, slapping those corners like it's a slalom bike.
Flying, the camera guy can't even keep up with him.
Steven, one of our youngest juniors, he's first year official junior as opposed to juvenile, so he's officially able to race World Cups this year. And
well deserving. 31.
And that little size is not slowing him down, and he's sending the triple nice and smooth, doubling into that section as well.
This is looking like a great run. Let's see if he can beat that time, Jason.
No extra energy there. Just no style needed, just speed for Stephen Walton.
Sending it on that longer double by the split and into the last little Chunderdome section. See if he can keep it upright.
And taking the main line there, still skipping right over the top of those holes.
Oh,
Big bunny hop straight in, nice and smooth.
Get the fans going.
Into this last creek gap. Doesn't need to pedal, unlike some of the other riders we've seen. Still carrying great speed.
Out of the corner.
Into the finish line. He's taking a few extra
No
pedals
pedals
and
here at the end.
oh,
There you
saving
go.
it for the
Oh,
end.
whoa.
239.
Walton on a crazy winning run right there. Let's see how many riders we have left. I think it's 3. Look at that little jump right there. Good stuff. No, we got 2 riders left. Here's our second qualifier, Simon Tellier from Victoria, British Columbia. He actually just won the last Northwest Cup here. It started the same way through this corner.
Woo!
Oh!
Losing a bit of exit speed there, slapping into
Oh!
it. And a big case on the step up. That's going to lose some momentum twice.
He's going to crush some vertebrae. Get it, Simon. Well, holding down the fort for Canada. He's the only one of the junior experts to be in the top 5 so far. He's just making his way through the woods very quickly.
Nice and smooth up that step up, but it looked like he might have caught a pedal or something on the way down. It's kind of can't be seen in the shot, but there is a nice
Pile of
rock
rocks.
edge on the backside of that. 29 miles an hour through the speed trap.
Nice little triple.
Taking a pedal stroke in there. Not something we see from a lot of riders. A lot of
No.
roots that could grab you.
So he's
Ooh,
back.
almost 2 seconds back at our split.
Just a wee bit.
In through the Supercross section. You can see the riders' bikes working extra hard now. Holes starting to develop after that few days of dry weather and then a little bit of moisture.
See him getting a little nose bucky at the end. Coming up quick in the waterfall. Stoking our fans out.
Ooh, a little bit short and really inside on that creek gap.
After casing a whole bunch of stuff, let's see if his time's still up there. He looks fast.
And it is not going to be enough.
Oh, that puts him in second to Steve Walton.
Into second overall,
Yeah.
but Walton there
Walton
with
had
a
an
comfortable
flying
lead.
run, huh? All right, well, here's our top qualifier, Nick Nesteroff, also racing an intense M16.
Yeah, he's on the Intense Factory program this year, doing the full World Cup circuit.
Yeah, he finished 4th at the first World Cup, is that right?
In Lords, yeah, definitely. He kind of surprised some people.
Whoa! Does he take his foot off?
Almost missing it on that
Oh my
step up we were talking about earlier.
That seems
Nearly
weird.
throwing it away right off this top.
You think the nerves are getting to him?
I don't think so. I think Nick is really on that level where he's trying to put down the fastest run he can and see where it goes.
This
But
is his job now, huh?
when you have that, you're pushing that envelope, you can definitely get a little bit over your head, especially being such a young rider. Again, Nick, one of the youngest juniors out there, only 16.
Yeah, him and Steve. Oh, so he
26
going
miles
a
an hour
little
through the
slow there.
speed trap. Very much slower than our leaders.
He must have had another little foot dab or something in the flat section.
And, 5.5 seconds back into our split. So it is not going to be his day,
No.
barring some miracle here at the bottom of the track. But it looks like
Some sketchy stuff has been happening.
Nesteroff,
Whoa! Where you going, bud?
over-committing to the corner and getting wrapped up in the course tape.
That'll be it for his day for sure. Then.
That is not the way to win a race there, Mr. Nesteroff. But
He's going to roll it down the hill.
nope,
send it
still
for the
tries to
fans.
send it for the fans. Don't even
Good.
think his feet are in the pedals right there.
Good.
Hitting the creek gap, one more corner to go. He already knows that he's done with the race for
A
today,
little bit
but
out of contention.
he's going to sprint it down, maybe try and salvage some overall points for the
Let's
GRT
check
series.
out his time. That'll put him in 20-something. Pretty
Not
off
gonna
the
do
pace.
It, but your winner today, our athlete of the week, Stephen Walton.
Steve Walton. Wow.
Back-to-back GRT wins.
From last year to this year, he's just gotten faster. So that'll do it for the junior experts.
Our ODI leaderboard for finals.
Let's head down to Sammy and see what she has to say.
We're here with the winner of the junior exit race, Steve Walton. Congratulations. So last year, you ended the season with a win at Mammoth Pro GRT. This season, you're starting off with a time of 2:39. You're off with a bang. What are your goals for the season?
Just stay consistent. I want to do as many GRTs as I can and make a name for myself on the World Cups.
We are looking forward to watching you. Back to you, Ross and Mikey.
All right, here's the start list, our ODI scoreboard for the pro women. Jill Kintner taking down the top qualifying spot, followed by Jamie Reese, Samantha Kingshill, Brittany White, and Kajersi Christensen. Big day for the Americans. Let's see if we can hold down the fort. We got Brittany White out of the gate here.
Yeah, Brittany White, a long-time Northwest Cup racer. Seen her a few times at some of the bigger events too, Crankworks, national champs, as well as a few others.
I think this is a fresh bike for her. I believe I saw her building it either last Northwest Cup or this one. Everything different except, I believe, the pedals. So.
Yeah, definitely not exactly the best case scenario to be testing out a new bike at your first national of the year.
Yeah, national, but she looks pretty comfortable just dropping it into ruts and letting her go wide open in that high speed section.
Yep, a little bit tentative here leading into, out of King Diamond it is, into our high speed trap.
A little slower than the juniors, but still letting go of the brakes.
Not sending that triple like we saw some of the juniors. What's hard to see is that there is some roots and a slippery rock face leading into that. It doesn't make it very easy to hold your speed to make the whole jump.
I mean, we saw last year Connor Fearon didn't even jump, and he won the pro men's.
Yep, it is deceiving, but I think we'll see some of the ladies later on be sending a few more of these gaps as we get into our field.
Brittany dodging all the little holes down right before the
as much as she can going into the Chunderdome, not sending the road gap like we.
I heard it was easier in this year than other years.
Oof, that was a harsh one right there.
That head slap didn't look too fun, but here she comes, cranking across the line, holding it down for the Northwest. Let's see what her time is.
3:09.
They'll put her in first.
Into the lead right now. Again,
Lauren Heisman.
She was our number 4 seed, so only 3 riders left on the hill who could possibly take her out of that podium spot.
Who do we have here, Mikey?
This is Jamie Reese, longtime Northwest racer out of Eastern Washington, Spokane.
It's a little drier over there, is it not?
Most definitely a lot drier conditions out on that side of the hill. Probably not used to seeing as much of this rain unless she is out racing the NW Cups.
Yeah, I mean, she was here, I think, the last race, and she got second, Jill. So.
Yeah, she's definitely kind of hot on the heels in the Northwest Series to Jill Kintner, which is, quite a few
pass.
heels to nip at, if you will.
Yeah.
So Jamie cruising through, taking some different lines that we saw from Brittany. A couple insides, a couple little gaps.
Going a little faster, too.
A little bit faster into this DT speed trap as well.
Just hanging off the back, flying through the triple section.
And she's coming up on our first split. Let's see if she's got enough. She's just enough. 0.33 of a second up
That's
on
not
Miss
a lot
White.
to hold on to. Let's see if she can do it.
And gapping into the Supercross section there. Hitting a few of the natural doubles.
Into the Chundery section.
And this is the chute leading into the Chunderdome.
So many holes, rattling the suspension.
Looks like you're riding down a staircase. Gapping down into the second half, trying to avoid some of those holes, Jamie.
Breaking bumps.
Oh,
Rolling
not doing
one.
the head slap that we saw from Brittany White on that creek gap.
She won't be as sore tomorrow, but that'll be good. Into the final turn. Let's check it out. Ooh, got her.
3:07.
Up on Brittany by just a little bit, 1.79.
Definitely added to it in the bottom part of the track.
Yeah, picked up a little more time up there, but let's head back to the top for our top qualifier.
Jill Kintner. This is definitely her race to lose right now. A big gap in qualifying, but very much different conditions. She even said to me after her run that she was really unhappy with it. She didn't jump any of her lines and didn't feel like it was worth her qualifying, and she was still up by a solid 20 seconds.
15-20.
So this is definitely a flyer for her. Wow, some of the speed she's carrying through here.
Just really pumping into the ruts and creating great speed.
Looks like we're watching some of our junior expert men riders, not one of our pro women, just the way she's commanding the bike right now.
Pedaling into the speed trap.
27 miles an hour, solid 3 miles an hour up on our next fastest woman.
Yeah.
And she's coming up to split number 1. Let's see what the gap is. 11 seconds.
That's insane.
That is cruise control, but obviously not in Jill's mind. She's grabbing pedal strokes right there.
Right now.
And she's dropping into the chute here, riding through those stair steps into the Chunderdome. Does she send it? No, she rolls it, but with no loss in speed.
11 seconds to play with. I think she might be all right.
No loss in speed there, but she does send the creek gap nice and smooth.
No head slap on that. That was good.
Smoother than most of our pro men, that's for sure. Into the last corner. What's she going to do? How big of a gap?
Yep.
Wow, 250. 16 and a half seconds up. Your winner today.
That's pretty crazy. Well, hats off.
ODI leaderboard. That's your results for pro women.
Yeah, what happened to Sam Kingshill? She must have had a crash or something because she was sending the gap at the bottom. But let's head down to Sammy to talk with our winner.
Pro women just finished their race. We're here with Jill Kittner, the winner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you started this year off with a bang. What are your goals for this season?
Well, I'm kind of focused on supporting the U.S. series and being here for the other ladies, but Crankworks is my main target for the year. So there's 3 events, and it's like a world tour, and so the overall kind of ends in Whistler, which is close to home, and yeah, I'm hoping to take the overall for that.
Awesome. And are you proud of the ladies today?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. We had such a good turnout, and the conditions were all time, and it's cool to see a few new faces on the podium, so I'm really proud of them, and I hope that it keeps growing and gaining some speed.
Well, we're really proud of you, and you're hanging with the boys today.
Yeah, trying.
All right, well, let's send it back to Ross and Mikey.
All right, top of the pro men's start list brought to you by ODI. We got Forrest Riesco, the only Canadian in the top 10. Who else is going to be a threat for the podium, Mikey?
A lot of first-year pros up there. In the number 10 spot, we've got Warren Niss. Number 2 spot, Bruce Klein. And 4, Charlie Harrison.
But here we got Logan Bingley pedaling hard out of the gate.
Logan, always a force to be reckoned with. He's a,
Wow.
I believe, 2-time GRT overall champion.
Oh! Getting sketchy over. He crashed there in qualifying. That's why he's starting 44th. Sending that.
That is a huge gap. Only a few riders choosing to do that once the trail got wet.
He's just making his own trail almost going down this thing.
Treating this course more like an outdoor moto track than a mountain bike course for sure. Logan set it on 3rd gear and just holding it wide open. 31 miles an hour, fastest time we've seen in the speed trap.
Do you know if he's still on a single speed in the rear, or is he?
I'm not at liberty to discuss his drivetrain issues, but it's obviously no fault of his.
Right?
3 seconds up right now on Cole Pichettino.
Another local. But he's coming out with a vengeance after a poor qualifying spot, and he could have been GRT overall champion last year, but he missed the start time, so this is the year he really wants to come back and get that title again.
Ooh, almost coming up short on the step down into the Chunderdome. Looked like he waited till the very last second to pull up.
Getting his compression pretty good, though, pushing the front end into it, though, right?
Yeah, well, knowing that he was going to come short, he nosed in a little harder than usual, but setting the fast time, 2:38.
Nice. 3.5 seconds up on Cole. Look at that gap. He grabs brake just to drop the bike into the little hole.
Yeah, we call that a
scary
supercross
stuff.
case, where you use the casing on a jump to slow you down a little bit.
Yep. So here we got first. I think this is his first year racing pro, 2nd year on mountain bikes. Carson Eiswald from Bellingham, Washington. Oh, just pulling up and yanking.
Yeah, definitely kind of a loose cannon, as we've seen on the bike in the last 2 years.
He's making it work.
He's definitely made some crash reels and some highlight reels in our Mountain Bike Mania footage, but showing that he's also got some speed behind him with a top 10 qualifying here at the GRT.
I think
taking pedal strokes everywhere.
So I think he and his little brother are going on the GRT circuit, but more so for Jason, his little brother, because he could be a contention for the junior expert overall title. But here we got Carson.
Carson only 1.5 seconds off the seasoned vet Logan Bingley, who set a smoking time early on from that poor qualifying result.
Logan should be top 10, so if Carson's anywhere in touch with that, he'll be due for a good result too. Sending the waterfall.
Coming into that with a little more speed and having to pick up late. That seems to be pretty much a trend for our pro field.
I mean, you set your suspension different for the rest of the course than that one jump.
You know, it's hard to say. This course is very much like a downhill pump track. 239 into 2nd.
Just off. That's really good.
It's a great time for a rookie pro, and slotting in with some good Northwest Cup names.
Definitely. So here's Austin Hackett-Klobb. He's from Colorado.
Austin's got another one of those tall guy on Santa Cruz syndromes where he never looks like he's trying all that hard, but just carries a ton of speed and a ton of momentum.
Well, so we did a little film with him earlier this year, and they didn't have a drivetrain. There was no chain, no gears, and they're clipped in. So they trained like that for half the year. So if anyone can pick up speed on the course without pedaling, it's those Colorado boys.
Yeah, I think Austin also suffers from, I don't know if it suffers, but from the moto therapy, where he spends just enough time on his 450 where he gets on the mountain bike and it still feels like a toy.
It's so light.
Yeah, so light, so fast is And he's only about half a second down on Bingley. That's a great split time for Austin.
It's a little closer than what we saw from Carson, so that's good.
Yeah, he's definitely up in contention to take away that spot from Bingley.
Pumping down into the last couple Chunder Dome sections. Keeping it rolling.
He is skipping right over those holes, casing up a little bit on the road gap, but again, tall guy doesn't seem to phase him much.
The exit speed seems pretty good.
Definitely lost some exit speed on that creek gap, though.
Boom. I mean, the thing is, if you pull up and go higher, you're spending more time in the air, but if you case it, you lose all your momentum. Wow, that's that's a fast time.
Wow, just 1/400th off of Bingley.
Dang.
That's going to be a great result for Austin.
He'll be happy with that. I mean, we only got 14 riders to go. Here's Luca Cometti out of Poway, San Diego, California.
Luca again on that intense factory racing program with his young teammate Nick Nesteroff. Big bunny hop out of Luca, just tucking his shoulder into that tree.
Pedaling out of every corner. You can see that bike starting to lift up and wheelie.
Luca, probably the best word to describe his riding is calculated. The kid never really does more than he has to, and he always seems to go deceivingly quick.
And the efficiency of not going bigger or farther is you create good speed.
Yeah, definitely on his game this year. A couple great results at the first World Cup in Lords. And a few great results last year, which got him on the program. And he's up.
He's up.
He's up right now on Bingley.
Only beautiful double.
18/100ths of a second. That is a blink of an eye, folks. In through the Supercross section, grabbing pedals there.
Yeah.
And he's leading up, choosing to go outside to outside and just skip
so
over the
quick through
holes.
these sections.
Into the Chunder Dome, nice and smooth into the outside.
Sting tuck in the mid. Oh, down like
Sanding the creep gap. Got a little bit of a shameless plug there on the finish.
Well,
Luca, what's his time going to be?
It looked
into the lead, 2:37.99.
Wow, putting almost half a second on Logan. That was smooth. That was a really smooth run. He just kept it wide open. All right.
And
he's from where you're from.
This is my local boy out of Concord, California.
See those rocks get kicked up out of the turn.
He is riding nice and loose, but a great qualifier for Tanner. Tanner Stevens on the
downsiding
Novatech Factory Racing program with Matt Connershaw as team manager.
Pedaling.
Almost throwing it away. Wow. Tanner is pedaling everywhere.
What goes through your head after that?
Well, if you're me, you check your shorts, but for Tanner, it looks like keep
go
pedaling.
faster.
Keep pedaling and go faster is the deal for Mr. Stevens right now.
Set up so well into those corners.
30 miles an hour through the speed trap, one of the fastest times, scrubbing in the triple.
Not even trying to downside, just keeping it rolling.
Wow, he is on a flyer. We knew he had some speed with that top 13 qualifier.
That's about Logan's split time, so he's definitely in touch.
Yeah, only half a second. That is not out of touch here with how quick we saw him almost lose it at the top. So if he keeps it smooth here at the bottom and keeps the same speed, he may bring it back.
He's got to be thankful for everything he has right now.
Nice little ninja bunny hop into the Chunder Dome section.
Downsiding very
sprinting and getting way outside on the creek gap.
That was stylish as ever in the race run.
And he's sprinting hard, sprinting all the way to the corner.
Let's check out the time.
Into the lead.
What?
Wow, Tanner Stevens.
Isn't that a 26-inch bike?
That is a
look at
a
that.
hood bike, spray painted special.
Man, and so he's in the lead right now, but let's see if Mitch Ropolato can give him a run for his money.
Mitch, welcome back to Downhill, Mr. Ropolato, on a new bike, new program for this year.
Rolling everything.
Deciding that he was not a fan of the Enduro World Series and decided it was time to go back to what he likes doing, so riding slalom bikes and riding downhill.
Getting shuttles up the hill. I don't blame him. That's a lot more fun.
So, but definitely always one of the most stylish and skilled riders on the track, making it look really smooth. Mitch is looking like he's on just another cruiser run.
Especially with that new bike, it's like you would think he wouldn't know it as well as his old bikes, right?
Well, he was on Santa Cruz a good couple years ago, back when he was a junior. So this is not completely foreign to him.
Same suspension linkage.
He's within touch, 0.73 of a second. We just saw Tanner Stevens take back a half a second on Luca.
On the bottom half, yeah.
On the bottom part of this track, so.
Anything's possible.
And the downhill, the bottom section of this course, more like a downhill rhythm section than a just rough chundery course. So that's something Mitch will definitely excel on.
Oh, yeah.
Smooth to the outside
there.
there.
To the left, yeah.
No extra effort. Mitch, we're so used to seeing a lot of flamboyant riding and crazy stuff, and we're seeing just a real calm, collected rider now.
Well, if you want to get good Mitch footage, film him in practice. But
and he's sprinting all the way into second now.
By nothing.
Wow, 4/100ths of a second.
Barely measurable.
That is the literal definition of less than a blink of an eye.
I can't even blink that fast.
And, wow, another Northwest Cup record holder on track right now. This is Tahoe's own Mikey Silvestri on the YT Industry program.
Standing there. Where does he have the record?
He's got a course record at Mount Hood. A time that's never been beaten on that course is held by Mr. Silvestri.
Well, just like these GRTs, Mikey can conjure up some serious magic and beat people down the hill. You never know who's going to win with these things. It's just whoever's feeling the best and can pin it on the weekend. And Mikey's always a candidate. Never count him out.
Definitely, and getting kind of a good program for him this year. He spent a lot of time on his moto in the off season and getting great support from Cam Zink over at YT USA and really just getting to have fun on his bike. And when Mikey's having fun on his bike, he's definitely a fast rider. We see him there nose bonking and wheeling through the Supercross section.
Think he pedaled out of the frame?
I don't think he even needed to pedal with how much speed he's able to carry through that.
Just ballsy guys. Sending it for all the ringers and bellers.
Whoa, he double drifted right there.
Spraying the fans.
Some would call that from the rally world the Scandinavian flick, where you back it in one way into the opposite corner.
And finish out.
38 into fourth right now. Wow.
Fourth place in not even a quarter of a second.
Less than 3/10 separating our top three. Less than 1/10 separating our top three right now.
Well, maybe local boy Luke Strobel can break that little hairline time of Tanner Stevens. He's on a 29er, so
he is on that evil reckoning with a downhill fork on the front. But we saw him take the win of the first Northwest Cup here at Port Angeles a few weeks ago
by almost nothing.
And so this is definitely looks like a bit more competition, a bit tighter times here this week.
Are there many lines down the track, Mikey? Is that something?
There's a few little separating features. We saw Logan take a big risky double up top, and it might have paid off for him, but then again, the rest of the track, it's a lot of corners and a lot of holes. So
and he's sitting in like third or fourth. Luke sending that looked great.
Yeah, making those big wheels work for him. Let's see what he's up to at the split. And he's, just about a second down. We saw half a second come back on the lower parts of this course, but
he sure makes that bike fly, though.
A second is a lot to ask, even for local boy Luke Strobel. A little bit of a ball up in that corner, losing a little momentum. Maybe caught a pedal there on that exit.
Into Chunderdome. Sending there.
Big bunny hop down in. Kind of
that looked
a little bit slower.
Slow
yeah, a little bit slower.
You can see he's on the pedals into the next corner.
A little bit slower exit speed than I'm sure he wanted. Let's see what he can do coming into the line.
I'm sure he'll be pretty close.
239. He is not going to be in contention. He's not in our top 5 right now.
Where's that put him, like?
That's top 10 time for sure, but not going to be in our top 5. Not a podium here for Luke.
That's a surprise, but also surprising is having Charlie Harrison qualify 4th out of the junior ranks from last year. We'll see if he can put down a killer run after the track's been beat to hell after a whole weekend.
Sending that little step up, casing it a little bit, but then manualing out to make up the speed.
Trying to get some good
grabbing
speed.
Pedals and, grabbing pedals and hitting the double that Logan hit. Wow, only 2 riders we've seen hit that all day.
It looked effortless. That was beautiful.
It was, from riding the track and knowing how steep and consequential that is, for me that was scary to watch.
That away, Chuck.
Grabbing some extra pedals. He's cruising through our speed trap right now, 29 miles an hour.
DT Swiss.
So he's within touch, nice and smooth, double out of that section. Into the split. A little bit faster than Luke, but still almost a second off. Our fastest split of Luca Cometti, but still our leader, Tanner Stevens, sitting up there, able to make up over half a second on this bottom section of the track. So we know that you can pull some time back.
Let's see.
But how much is Charlie going to be able to do?
He's got to do almost a second. Charlie's so smooth. I mean, this track is so rough.
A little bit short on the creek gap, losing a little momentum there. That's definitely going to hurt him coming in with these times being so tight.
Hard to keep your speed when you're bouncing back upwards. That's quick,
38.61 into 4th.
Barely.
So 4 riders left that can take him off. Bruce Klein, our number 2 qualifier.
No
disaster for Bruce.
Where are you going?
First turn. Oh, wow.
He is dirty.
That's
it.
Disheartening for the young boy.
Man.
I think he just hadn't quite got his brain on for the fact to make that first turn.
Wow. Well, anyway, let's skip ahead to our first qualifier.
Forrest Riesco, the last man down the hill. He's the only man left that can unseat Tanner Stevens.
Able to do it in the rain. He qualified first. See if he can get NorCal out of that hot seat and take down the win.
Yeah, this is one of those age-old battles now. Canada versus the USA at a Northwest Cup.
He's the only Canadian, though, in the top 10.
Yeah, he is the only, but he definitely showed he had the speed, qualifying in the number 1 spot, and then taking on a host of Americans. And right now he's on a good pace. It looks like a little bit of a stall out in that last corner. 29 miles an hour through the speed trap.
We won't really know until the split, but he definitely looks like he's not dirty. So he's hitting all his lines. I imagine those are his lines.
And 0.7 of a second.
Ooh, casing that. That's a little.
That's going to slow some speed up, so he's going to have to really push it through the supercross section right here. Ooh, a lot of head slapping, a lot of extra suspension movement. Might be slowing him down a little bit.
What are you supposed to do in that situation? Pedal harder?
That's pretty much all you got left. It looked like, ooh, a little bit of a late pickup, a little case there.
Good exit.
Into these last corners. Makes the creek gap pretty smooth. 1 corner left.
See if he can get it so outside. Look at that.
All the way to the tape.
Come on, Tan.
Into the last corner. 238. Not going to be enough.
Oh, Tanner Stevens.
Cinderella story for the NorCal boy. Hate to say it, I feel like a proud papa with that name on top. Tanner Stevens, Mitch Ropolato, and Luca Cometti in your top 3, all within 0.07 of a second.
That's nuts. Let's go down to Sammy. And
Tell me why you're still on this bike.
Well, funny story. My bike last year I don't know. I just had problems with it, so I stopped riding it and sold it. And then I had this bike laying around because it hadn't sold from 2 years ago. Nobody wanted to buy it, so I liked it, put some bigger wheels on it, did some things you probably shouldn't do to a bike, spray painted it, and now we're here.
So what happens now? Do you get a new bike, or do you keep this one because it was lucky?
We just ride the bikes that we have, so.
Northwest, everybody's there. Make some noise, pro women. And there you have it.
Mountain Bike Mania has been brought to you by KHS Bicycles, a full line of bicycles sold in 30 countries. Jensen USA, America's #1 online retailer of bikes and accessories, ODI, the world leader in grip technology, and Angel Fire Bike Park, the top-rated bike park in the Southwest.